on the line here. I believe we've got Rob Benedict and Steve Norton. Is that correct?
Yeah, guys.
Oh,
Hey.
yes. Hey.
What's up? Wow, it worked.
It's amazing. It amazes me every single week.
Amazing. This whole telephone thing. It's mind-blowing.
It's cutting edge. It's cutting edge. Rob.
Here we are.
I know. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
With Annie and myself, just want to welcome you so much to the show, and thank you for taking some time and chatting with us. We love it. The chat room. Speaking of chat,
Yeah.
we have an interactive chat room here, and it's bustling. People are very excited.
Wow, there's a bustle.
It's
There
a
is.
whistle. That's the first time we've ever said that in 3 years.
It is.
So tonight, guys, is going to be a show like no other. There's bustling and wet knees going on here.
Wow, wet knee. I heard that there were some wet knees going on.
And you're a first. I mean, palms. Occasionally I get nervous, but you guys, your music is freaking awesome.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. We're so happy that you like it and that you're playing it, and yeah, we're happy to be here.
Yeah, it's I have to tell you. Now I've been listening, to a few songs, and I'm one of those people. I'm a little nuts. Once I hear a song, I like to stay on that one song. I'm a creature of habit.
Right.
And right before the show, I listened to Mrs. Vance, and I'm like, oh my God, this is freaking wonderful. So I like how to change the playlist around. So I want to know tonight if I could be Mrs. Vance, please.
Yes, you can be Mrs. Vance. You can be Mrs. Vance.
We're
Actually,
happy to call you that.
Yeah. Actually, I think if you the song is actually about, like, he's asking Mrs. Vance for his, for her permission to date her daughter. So really, you should be Mrs. Vance's daughter. I mean, I think that's the character to be.
Oh, well, okay. So it's kind of like almost a Mrs. Robinson, but a little different.
Okay, yeah, sure. I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
If Mrs. Robinson had a hot daughter, that would be the deal.
Okay.
Oh, you guys have no idea how creepy this is getting because
Wow.
she just turned 18.
Yeah.
And this is about me, damn it.
Yes, you could be Mrs. Vance.
Cool beans.
Hey, Rob, I wanted to ask you real quick because we broadcast based out of Chicago area. Did I read this right in your information that you're a Northwestern alum?
I am. That is correct.
You and Michael Borgia, the bass player, both are went to Northwestern.
Yeah, I went there for we actually weren't there at the same time. I was there for undergrad, and he was there for a grad school program. But someone I went to school with, an undergrad, stayed on for the grad program and went to school with him, and so that's the connection. That's how we met out here. This mutual friend introduced us. And then
cool.
Steve, who's on the line with us, Steve is originally from the Quad Cities, not far from you guys.
Oh, no kidding. Now, see, that's interesting. So, did you guys grow up out here, or was this where you went to school, or
I grew up in Missouri. I grew up in Missouri, and then went to Northwestern, directly from there, and was just in Chicago for those 4 years. I come back and visit a lot, but I was just there for school, and then came right out here. And Steven, what's your story?
Yeah, Rob and I are the pure Midwest guys in the band. We have a Missouri-Illinois rivalry thing going on there, and and Mike is Borja is from Pittsburgh, and then Billy's out from the East Coast, so out near New York City. So we're kind of spread out all over the place, but the Midwest is definitely home for us.
Yes, for sure.
That is very, very cool.
Yeah.
Now? I want to let everybody know the band. You guys formed up quite a while ago. I mean, you've been at least the beginnings of the band. Back in '97. You're looking at 23 years. Or 13 years? Sorry.
Yeah, 13.
I didn't take my shoes off for that. I was kind of winging it. Sorry.
I was like, oh no, has it been that long? How old are we? Yes, but it has been a while. Yeah, we, like I said, Mike and I were introduced shortly after school, and we were just we would just get together once a week and play guitars and do cover songs, and then we met Steve. Steve listened to us play really drunk one night at a party, and
musicians drunk? No, come on.
Yeah, exactly, right? For inspiration, and
right.
And then he wanted to play with us, and then it's like once Steve joined the band, it really felt like a real thing, you know. And then we started writing all original stuff, and it just took off from there. So, yeah, it has been a while, and you know, it's great. We know each other so well, and we, you know, Billy, the fourth member of the group, joined a few years ago, and now everything is just kind of coming together, and we're feeling just better than ever about the group, and it's nice to have put in so many years together, you know. It's really fun to go out and play live, for example, just because we just know each other well. We know what we're all doing and what we're playing, and it's just a really comfortable atmosphere.
Ooh.
That's so important with, you know, and having been down, you know, the road with being in bands and things like that, you know, growing up myself, I know how hard it is to keep a group together and you know, over extended periods of time.
Yeah, with everything else going on and life pressures and work stuff and everything, it is kind of a wonder. But yeah, we've changed and grown. We're not who we were then. We certainly are. I think are a much better band than the junk guys who were playing REM covers at the party, you know. But but we still have that connection. We have that bond, you know, together as a group, which is great.
Sure. No, that is that's extremely cool.
Yeah.
Now, we know, and Rob, we're going to talk obviously about you know, a little bit about what you do as well on the side. Now, has the band become though the primary? I don't want to say primary employment, but has that become kind of the primary focus for everybody, or you know, some of the guys holding down other day job kind of things?
We all have other day jobs. We all do different things. You know, Mike literally puts on a suit and tie every morning, and you know, and Steve and Billy have more creative jobs. But yeah, we all sort of have day jobs, and so this is a sort of it's not secondary because we all put so much time into it, but it's
right.
Sort of in addition to our other jobs that we do. And I know for I think we all have more and different reasons for how it fuels our life, you know. But for me, it's like it all kind of goes into the same place, you know. It all comes from this sort of creative, artistic place that I'm at, and you know, for me, my one kind of feeds the other.
Sure,
you know,
sure.
You know,
yeah,
no,
definitely. It's definitely a focus for, you know, for all of us when we do get together. We are, you know, certainly focused on the band, and we all put a ton of energy in it, pretty much nonstop throughout the week. And then when we get together, it's you know, it's just our time to play and enjoy the actual music part of it. But then we do, you know, we get together and do a ton of other stuff, you know, as far as like planning and you know, trying to be creative for video ideas and all that kind of stuff, and you know, making sure that we're out promoting ourselves, and it definitely can be a time-consuming adventure to try to keep it all up and running, but it's exciting and it's fun. So
it definitely is. It's like it's a business, and it's, you know, we all have to put a lot of time in to keep it going, and the more successful we get, the harder it is in a way to sort of keep it afloat. But yeah, so that's kind of where we're at right now. We're all just kind of putting in overtime to keep it going because it's, you know, it's just now, you know, I feel like we're starting to get a lot of really cool attention, which is good. Good payoff, you know, to the work.
Absolutely.
And you know what? Speaking of a good payoff, we never got to officially say hi to sultry Steve over there with that deep, sexy voice going on.
Be careful. I sense more wetness behind the knees.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not giving it back, just so you know.
Oh my.
It's mine now, so who wins?
I love our little Mrs. Vance over there.
That's right, boys. Mrs. Vance, indeed. That song, I'll tell you they're all my favorite, but I'm going to make up a word. That's my favoritist is Mrs. Vance. I love the feeling because it comes out and you can feel like the Tom Petty in it, and then there's another group that I can't think of it, but I don't care because it doesn't matter because it's all Louden Swain to me. And I mean, it's. I wanted to take my clothes off. I'll be honest with you. It's got much of an impact, and I can do words because it's the object. Yeah, exactly. So it's good. I can't even imagine the concerts that you guys playing and everything. I'm going to stumble all over my tongue now. This is going to be great. But I've been doing nothing but watching videos and watching you guys, and
Have you been stalking them and they just don't know it yet?
I'm internet stalking. It's totally legal, and it's not stalking. It's called research.
Oh, okay.
So, and I have to tell you guys, this is the most show prep I've probably done in 3 years.
Yeah.
And it's well worth it. But you guys put on phenomenal shows, and I've been talking to some of your fans, and they love you, and it's like, you know, this whole Louden Swain world out there, and I want to be on your street team.
Awesome.
There you go.
You are more than welcome.
So what is the name of your street team? Like the Vancy Vixens?
You know, I don't think we have an official name yet, but you're more than welcome to throw out some ideas, and I'm sure we'll grab one. That's definitely a good start.
Yeah, for the Vancy Vixens, I kind of like.
I like the Vancy Vixens.
kind of guys, kind of people.
Right. It's kind of awkward all of a sudden.
Hey, wait until we bust into our Marvin Gaye a cappella here in a minute.
Nice.
Oh,
really
please, bring it. Let's get it on.
Oh, man.
Hey, you mentioned a minute ago, Rob, some of the attention you guys are getting, and you're really, I think that's an understatement. I mean, some of the press you guys have been getting, the LA Times Music Connection, which I'm coming from Southern California originally myself, very familiar with Music Connection.
Yeah.
As well as you've been some of the song placements that you've had on MTV, like Real World, Road Rules, Next, and you're on the soundtrack of Snakes on a Plane.
Yeah, can you dig that? Yeah, they actually had a contest before that movie came out where they wanted bands to submit songs for the soundtrack, and so we wrote a song. We hadn't seen the movie. You get it. You know, it's Snakes on a Plane, and so we wrote a song, and we were really happy about the song, and then sure enough, we ended up. I guess Norton, we were runners up.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we were told it was number 1 and 1A were the choices.
Right,
so.
Exactly. We kind of tied for first. But anyway, so the award is, you know, one of the prizes is that you get on the soundtrack. So if you buy the soundtrack, we're sort of on the bonus part of the soundtrack. You can hear that song.
I think it's very cool.
It was way cool, and it was, you know, for a while, you know, that movie, the hype that preceded that movie was huge, right? So there was all this press that had contacted us when we won that contest. This one guy I remember called me. He was writing a book about Snakes on a Plane. I mean, the movie hadn't even come out, but he was writing a book on the hype surrounding it. So yeah, it was pretty good. That was a pretty whirlwind time for us.
It's all a blur looking back on it.
Yes, it is. It is.
I'm sure, as I'm sure, you know, some of the guys, you know, Samuel Jackson and those guys making the movie probably remember it as somewhat of a blur too. But
exactly.
It's become, you know, they call it a cult classic, and it definitely is, because it's one of those movies like, I don't know, I don't want to compare it to like a Rocky Horror Picture Show because that's a different genre.
Yeah.
But the same thing where it's got this following that is, they're just rabid about it.
Yeah. It's almost like a zombie movie or something, but
right.
Yeah, and they were rabid about it before it came out, just because it was so ludicrous. You know, the concept. You know, the weird thing about it too is the studio they were behind that movie as a serious movie. Like, they weren't trying to sell it as a joke, right? They really were trying to sell it as an honest to God, action-packed summer movie about snakes on a plane.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Some interesting things.
Yeah.
Now, Rob, we've got people asking questions, obviously, about your day job as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you've done a few things, right?
Yeah.
You know, you've been in shows, Felicity, Head Case. One that I do want to talk about briefly in a minute, Threshold.
Oh yeah.
On CBS. I was one of the viewers.
Oh,
That was
cool.
me.
That's awesome. You were that guy.
I was the guy. I loved that show, and I got to tell you, I was I was so pissed off when they canceled that show.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was a great concept. It was it was a little creepy, a little eerie,
yeah.
Sci-fi-ish, and that was just has there ever been any talk of doing it? Because it's one of those that left the last one of the season before they canceled it. Of course, they left a big cliffhanger.
Right, I know, exactly.
Like happens so often.
Just to drive you nuts, just to make you crazy.
Right, exactly. And it's a short trip for some of us anyway.
Yeah. There's right after it got canceled, there was talk of doing something. I guess, so no, I have not heard of anything else, although you'd never count anything like that out. It definitely has a following. I mean, that show has had a life afterwards. We shot, I think, 13 episodes. But they replay it a lot, and it definitely has people who saw it, loved it. It was just, unfortunately, it was like a show that got caught with too many cooks in the kitchen. The network kind of wanted it to be a CSI procedural kind of show, but the creators always had this idea of it being more of an X-Files or a Lost kind of show.
Right.
And so they tried to, you see it too, you can feel the show starts to go into this direction where it is more procedural and then gets pulled back, and so yeah, and then ultimately that was kind of its demise, but we had a great time making it. It was such a cool cast, and I'm really happy when people mention that show, because it definitely meant a lot to me to do it.
It's I'll be honest, I had forgotten that you were in the cast when we were originally booking you for the show, and I was going through reading, and I was like, Threshold, wait a minute, and I went back and looked, and sure enough, so yeah, I wanted to mention that.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to talk about Buffy.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and I was, stalking, I meant Googling, YouTube, trying to find that, but I wasn't successful on finding that, and I loved watching Buffy. So, did she kick your ass, or what's going on here?
It's funny. That's a hard one to find, and at a couple of these, sort of sci-fi conventions, people have brought these pictures in of me on Buffy, which is crazy that they found it. But I was in 2 episodes. It was, I think, season 4. When this character named Adam was the bad guy. He's like half machine, half person.
I remember that guy. Yeah,
right?
I remember that storyline, yeah.
And so I'm his, like, vampire sidekick for 2 episodes.
Okay.
I don't die. I was actually doing Felicity at the same time, so I couldn't do both. So I got away. I did these 2 episodes, then I had to go back to Felicity, and I couldn't do anymore. But, yeah, but if you go back and watch it, it's just 2 episodes, smallish sidekick part, but what's awesome about it is that if you're going to be on Buffy, you want to be a vampire,
Oh yeah, and you were a real vampire. You didn't glitter.
Right.
No. Just kidding.
No glitter.
No glitter. I got to be a vampire with the makeup and everything, and those makeup artists on that show were so awesome. You're in the chair for like 4 hours while they're putting on your face.
It was very cool.
And Steve, have you ever been a vampire? Got to make sure we include Steve here. Werewolf? Something?
I kind of like to keep that on the down low.
Gotcha. We don't judge. It's okay, Steve. You're fine.
After the show, I'll break out my credit card. We'll talk. I'll get the information.
Once you blow your covers, you get people coming after you with stakes, and
I know.
I prefer my steaks on the grill, thank you.
And then of course, most recently, you've been as far as your television career, Rob. You've been in this little show.
Yeah.
Maybe a few fans out there, a few people that have seen it once or twice. Supernatural.
1, 2, 50 billion.
Yeah. What started off as I don't know. I can only assume was originally going to be kind of a 1 or 2 episode arc.
Yeah.
You really, especially this past season, became a fairly critical member of the cast of the player. Yeah.
Yeah.
That has to be kind of a big point for you.
It's wild, It's wild doing a show, doing a part like Chuck on Supernatural, because you don't know when you start where the character's going to go, right? So,
right.
Every time I get the call or I get the script, I don't even know where it's going to be, and then I'll do, a bunch of episodes I'm not in, and then I'll get the script and I'll like, what? Wait, what's happening? So yeah, no, it's pretty wild to when I first did it, it was just kind of a one-off, and then it's turned into this bigger thing, which is exciting for sure.
The final episode of this season
Yeah.
You narrated, and I've got to say, huge kudos to the to the entire creative staff of the show for the way they played out that episode. I thought it was brilliantly done.
Yeah.
Because your character, Chuck, who's a prophet, was introduced as a prophet. You've kind of told the story of Sam and Dean, the main characters, and how they've gone through, and the way they brought that whole arc around was just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's cool, isn't it? It's kind of touching. The moments that they had, I thought, were really touching. And the writing in it is just so good. They make us look good because the writers are so good. It was really fun to do. I really enjoyed doing that, the narration part of it too, and and it made sense. I feel kind of like Eric Kripke in those moments. I mean, I'm kind of him, being the storyteller. Eric being the creator of the show, and that was really neat and really touching, I thought.
That is cool.
You know what? I have to make two comments.
Yes.
A script can be the best script in the world, and actually I will say that I believe Supernatural is. Mm-hmm. But it also takes the actors and actresses that are on it that really makes the show what it is. I mean, if you guys weren't on it and they had just other people on it, it would have been good. But having you guys on it kicks ass and makes that show number one. So I have to give credit to you guys. Working as a team, making it your family. And I mean this in many, many ways. You give us great pleasure.
Oh, thank you so much.
It's wonderful.
Thank you. Yeah, see, it sounds better coming from you. I've got to credit the writers. You know what I mean? It's like, really, it's us. I mean, really.
That's right.
But no, I appreciate it. The fans of the show are so awesome, and that's what's been really, as fun as working on the show is so fun, and being on a show where you actually get feedback because the fans are vocal and and it's a strong fandom, and
sure.
I always say these, there are these supernatural conventions, and I've gone to a couple, and it's awesome because in theater you get that applause after the show. In TV or movies, you just get the boom guy who's like, "Oh, it's pretty good, dude," so you don't get that feedback in the same way.
Sure.
So it's nice. It really is nice to hear the feedback and hear that people are getting it.
Exactly. Well, speaking of getting it, I've got to ask, and you're probably not going to. If you may not even know because I know they keep things under wraps. The show was supposed to be the final episode of the entire series, and they extended it. Now they're doing at least one more season that we know of.
Right.
At the end of the show, your character, something kind of interesting. I'm just going to ask: is Chuck God?
I should be asking that. It's much sexier.
That is the question of the year, isn't it? It's like
I'm sure.
Specifically, I've talked to Kripke about it. I mean, I think it's important that people interpret it how they want to interpret it. When I first read the script, I kind of went one way with it, and then, I didn't go there, and I just saw myself as Kripke, and he's not the. He's stepping down as the runner of the show. He's going to still be sort of a consulting producer, but next year his position's going to be different. So I saw it as sort of him sort of, poof, bowing out and that kind of thing. But then I got up to Vancouver to shoot the episode, and I got to set, and everybody's like, "So you're God, huh? You're God. Wow, you're God." So definitely, and then I thought, I don't know if fans are going to. I mean, it's not written. To me, it's not written. It's not that clear, and yet. 90% of the fans that saw the show were like, "Oh wow, you're God, so Chuck's God." So, that does seem to be the interpretation that people are going with, and certainly it makes sense. I mean, and I think it just adds another level of just uniqueness to Chuck's character, that because he was the unlikely prophet, then to have this spin on it that he's actually the creator of this world. So yeah, I mean, I'll go with that if you guys want to go with that.
No, I'm going to go with that. All right.
I'm sure. I mean,
right.
it has been. I know the all the message boards and the chat rooms and all that kind of thing have been buzzing about that since the episode aired.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it was another one of those things. It was I don't want to say it was necessarily subtle, but it really was. It was a subtle kind of like you said, it did seem like a Crippy, a little tip of the hat, bowing out his way to do that, and it was very tastefully done.
Oh, it was so good. And Steve, you're still there, right? You know what? You are my co-pilot god, okay? Because we're not going to have you left out over there.
I'm all fine. It's all good. I appreciate it.
All right. Hey guys, I want to tell you we've got actually one of your friends or one of your fans on the line right now, Shannon, who wanted to say hi, and I think she has a question for you.
Okay.
Shannon, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hey Shannon, say hi to Rob and Steve. I know you've been waiting forever.
Hey guys, how are you?
Hi Shannon, good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good.
You need my ShamWow, Shannon?
No, I'm fine.
Okay, cool.
I'm fine over here. No, I don't have any questions. I was just going to tell Rob that I met him at LACon, and it was the first time that I actually got to see his band perform, and I didn't get to tell him afterwards, but I really thought they did an awesome job. So
thank you, Shannon. That's awesome. So
you're welcome.
You're at the convention in LA out here.
Yes, and I came up to you and I was telling you that I was from Arkansas.
Okay.
And you were like,
right.
Yes. So, yes.
How cool.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's okay. That's awesome. We had such a good time playing that show. That was a really great experience for the whole band. That was a blast.
Well, let me tell you, coming from me, it's a really big compliment because I'm like a diehard country fan.
Oh, wow.
So that's all I listen to. So I was kind of like, this could be interesting. But I just threw myself in there, and I ended up totally loving it. So
awesome. That's great. That's good. See, Steve, we're crossover. We're a crossover band.
I love that.
Well, thanks, Shannon. Thank you for letting us know. That's awesome. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's really nice to hear from. It's nice to hear from all the fans, and we were amazed at how many people came to that convention from just all over the place, and it's really cool when we get emails from people, in all kinds of crazy different parts of the world, all the way from China and other parts of the U.S. And it's just so good to hear that the music is getting out there and people are enjoying it. So that's really the biggest compliment that anybody can ever give us is just to say thanks, and we really appreciate it. So thank you so much.
Yep,
you're very welcome. One more thing. This is for Rob before I go. I had to show my mom, who I was talking about, and I had your autographed picture, the one with you and Jared, and I pointed you out to her, and she goes, he's actually better looking than Jared.
No way.
Yeah, that's what she says. Well, I will tell her that.
Yeah, tell your mom. That's awesome. I'm a big fan. I'm a fan of your mom.
Okay, I will tell her that.
All right.
Hey,
Thanks,
Shannon. Thanks so much for calling, Shannon.
That's awesome, see? I still got it with moms. I still got it.
You got there's your niche, man.
Again, Mrs. Vance working the moms.
That's the theme. That's the theme of the show.
I tell you. And I'm sure that won't if by chance they hear about this next time you're working on the set or whatever or run into Jared, just tell him, hey, you know what, the moms think I'm hotter than you are, man.
Exactly.
And see let me know how that works out.
I will.
No,
yeah, for sure. That's gonna make me feel.
Yeah. And Rob, we know that those two, I'm not going to mention their names because we know who they are, those totally awesome guys out there too. We know they're a bunch of smart asses. Practical jokers. How about you?
I'm not. I'm not. I'm more the other side of it. I'm the gullible guy that's easy to trick. I'm that guy.
That's a fun time. You are that kind of guy.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, no, but luckily they've never really, as easy of a target as I am, they've never really gotten me. I don't know. I think that there's like I don't know. I don't know what it is. I think they get. I feel the more the like sort of newbies that come along on the show, they'll play practical jokes on them.
Well, they're afraid. You're God. I mean, I'd be a little afraid too. I wouldn't want to piss you off.
That's got to be it.
Throw that out there for them.
They're actually and you probably know this already. You probably know this, but they're actually really great guys. They're very good, down to earth fellas. I always have a good time when I go up there and hang out with them.
We've never had the privilege to go to a convention, and next time there's one around, I'm going to make that happen. But again, I have to refer to stalking. I meant researching on the internet and watching your conventions with the fans. I mean, you guys are all you're so genuine, and that's one of my favorite words to use when doing an interview. Because you're really down to earth people, and that's what makes you stand out, more than like your typical Hollywood person. I would much rather hang out with you guys because I know I can be myself, and you guys can be yourself, and we're all going to have a good time because you're one of us.
Yeah.
I love that.
Cool. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean that's I've always tried to work to stay grounded in my personal life, so that you don't get too crazy and wrapped up in the Hollywood thing. It's not, none of it's real, you have to stay true to who you are. And, I think one of the reasons that show is, and those guys are so, Jared and Jensen never seem to be sort of tainted by Hollywood. I think it's one of the reasons is they're not, they shoot the show in Vancouver. So they sort of have their own world up there, and they don't have to, get caught up in the Hollywood scene and that kind of thing. But I appreciate it. That's definitely what we're going for, because we are just real people.
Oh yeah. Now I'm thinking Steve is more the wild man. He's a drummer for God's sake. See?
You got to represent for the drummers. For those of us other drummers out here, Steve, you're the wild guy, right?
Drummers always have that reputation, and I would be ashamed if I didn't do my part to keep it up.
And that's why I married one.
We would have to revoke your drumming license. The rules. You read them.
Yeah, that's definitely Steve. I mean, you got it though. That is Steve in the group. He's the only one that's not married.
Oh?
He's the one that might show up with a mohawk to rehearsal.
Nice.
He's that guy.
nice. It's a good look, man. The mohawk thing.
Everybody
we've got I know I've got another caller, and this one I'm going to tell you right beforehand. This one makes me a little nervous because it's another Annie on the line. So
okay, wow, all right.
I don't know how this is going to work. I'm more than a little
It'd be kind of funny with her throwing her voice. That'd be kind of funny.
I would be amazed.
And I actually know Annie Licious14 from Twitter, and she's the one who I thank for arranging everything. And I've never spoken to her before. So Annie,
wow.
Yeah,
Hello?
come on down, Annie.
There she is.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Hi.
Hi.
How's everybody?
Good. So Annie, you're
Rob?
the one that made this connection?
Yeah, I didn't stalk you. I actually just researched.
Aha.
I kept on writing, and you guys responded. It was quite awesome.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
But I'd like to say that hi from Toronto, Canada. That's where I am.
Cool. Hi.
So Stephen, if you can remember for me to say hi to Michael and Billy, that'd be awesome.
Really?
For sure, we will.
And I'm having a fangirl moment, so forgive me.
No, that's all right. So you're in Toronto. Wow.
I'm in Toronto, yes.
Crazy.
I missed LA Con.
What's the next one? Are you going to go to another one soon?
I'm trying to meet up with Shannon, that was on before, and this other girl, Heather, we met on Twitter, and we're going to try and go to LA again or Vancouver.
Oh, wow, cool. I'll be at Vancouver, I know.
Okay, I'm going to Vancouver.
Just made the plans right there. Made the travel plans.
That girl. And Annie's a big fan of Louden Swain too. She was, I was talking to her. Okay, what song should I play? What songs do you like? Yeah, That's a nice one too. They're all good. It was really hard to choose.
Awesome. That's a good problem to have. We like that. We like hearing that.
Can I ask you guys one question each?
Yeah.
It's the same question. Like, I know you have your passion and you know you have your day job, you probably still love, but what do you guys do what's your favorite pastime? You too, Stephen.
I play a lot of poker, but I'm not sure if it's my favorite pastime on the nights that I lose. But yeah, I do play a lot of poker, and you know that's probably my main thing that I'm doing these days. Rob and I used to play basketball together on a fairly on a fairly decent rec league team, but I got beat up a few too many times on the court, so we've retired my basketball shoes. But before I was playing poker, I was doing that all the time. So we try to keep ourselves.
Challenge you guys in Vancouver.
Yeah. Yeah, literally one of the games, Steve got knocked in the nose, and we had to take him to the hospital. Yeah, it went down. Yeah, I'd say for me, I mean, music is such a, it's such a hobby of mine. Like I'm always, if I'm not playing with a band, I'm listening or writing or, finding new bands to go see, and I see a lot of concerts and that kind of thing. So that's definitely my favorite pastime, and it gets to the point where like I have to like force myself to like not play music, like to just try to sit with my thoughts and not have music on all the time. Because wherever I go, like in the house or in the car or whatever, I've always got music on, and I love that. I love collecting music and that kind of thing.
Sure.
It was great talking to you guys, and Annie, it was nice finally meeting you.
Hey, you too, and we will talk again. Just
Oh, and Rob, I saw you on NCIS. Nice job.
You did? Awesome. Thanks. Awesome. Hey, if you make it to the Vancouver Con, come say hi. Introduce yourself.
I totally will.
Okay.
Still having a fangirl moment, but peace out from Toronto, and you guys are fantastic.
Thank you so much, Annie. Appreciate it.
No problem. Cheers, my friend.
Cool.
Bye.
Thanks, Annie.
Bye.
I'm going to have to send all of the girls that like Shannon and Annie. I'm just going to send them a ShamWow, so when they come and meet you, you're going to recognize them. You're going to be like, those are the Vancy Vixens.
ShamWow girls.
Awesome. See, there you go. Hey, now when you do these, the conventions, obviously, it's Rob, you're going for the, with the supernatural kind of take on it. Do you find time for, or does the rest of the band usually find time to make it to conventions that are outside of the LA area?
Well, I'm relatively new to the conventions, so we've just LA was the only one that the band has played at, and I've only been to maybe 3 or 4 conventions, and I've got a few coming up. So I think the LA one went so well that I think it looks like there's rumblings about bringing us back. I think the people who hold the conventions just have to figure out how to, have the right venue and that kind of thing. I think they kind of get nervous about having the right venue for us to play, but we love the idea of traveling and playing at these conventions because it's, a great way to get out and see some fans that we don't otherwise, get to see or play for. So, I see it as sort of just beginning. I mean, we did the one in L.A., and if they invite us to do another one at another city, we'll absolutely do it. And it sounds like it's going to happen at some point. So,
Chicago.
Stay tuned. Yeah, that'd be great. If they, like I said, if they ask us, we'll do it.
Well, I'm asking you. Is that not good enough?
Yeah, I mean, please, yes. If you.
I'll tell you what. If you guys don't get invited to the actual convention, we'll invite you here to the studio, and you can do it in studio with us. How's that?
Great.
Bring the guitar, Rob. I will make room, Steve, for drums in here for the drum set.
We will put an addition on the house just for you, Steve.
And we've actually talked about, trying to do little mini tours around the conventions, and honestly, so much of what happens at the conventions is up to the fans themselves. So, if the fans want to see somebody at a convention, it's really, it really depends on them letting the, convention organizers know. So what what we would love to have everybody do is, let them know. So, because the more people that say something, the better a chance there is for us to show up, and we would love to come out and play for you guys. So that would be awesome.
Yeah, for sure. If the desire is there, then then they'll invite us, and we'll be there.
Oh, the desire is so here.
Awesome.
I've got to say they would be a little nuts not to do that. And it would seem like it would be a great win-win for the convention organizers as well. Have some great entertainment in addition to the already very cool stuff going on with the show and all that. But
for sure, I think so too, and hopefully they can make that happen, because I think it would be a good thing. The LA thing was really a great experience. Everybody was happy, and we loved playing, and it was fun. Super fun.
and we're definitely doing what we can to try to schedule some other shows, around Southern California and in nearby areas where we can definitely get to, like San Diego and San Francisco and Phoenix and those kind of things, and it's just a matter of making the schedules work. So hopefully everyone will get an opportunity to see us, if not at one of the conventions at some of these areas. So, and in fact, we're playing a show this week on Friday in LA as well. So if there's any LA people that are out there, we'd love to see those people at that show as well. So.
Yeah, we're playing the Mint this Friday night at a venue called the Mint here in LA. This Friday, and I was going to mention that earlier because in terms of songs that people like or songs people want to hear, it's only about a 40, 45-minute set, so we have to choose our songs wisely, and it's
sure.
like, you know what I mean? It's always a hard decision to make, to pick what songs we want to play, but a lot of people mention Kind of Guy, right, Steve, and a lot of Miss Vance requests.
Yeah.
So I think those will definitely make their way in.
Absolutely. Yeah, I saw that earlier, and it's great timing. I was going to mention that. Yeah, this Friday, 7:15 p.m. Now, is that the time you guys go on, or is that the time the whole show begins?
That's the beginning time for the whole show. We're actually the second band on, so we'll probably hit the stage around 8:15, 8:30.
Yeah.
Nice. But people should get there early. That way they can settle in, get a good spot right up by the stage.
Exactly.
Back to their knees.
Exactly. Mop off that
Wetness.
old sweaty backness on the knee. I don't know what that means. But got the Mint in LA, so I know a lot of our listeners out there, if you want to check these guys out and see them live, that would be a great opportunity. And I think I may have been to the Mint before. It's there's so many venues out there, but if it's where I'm thinking, it's a great little place to. It's kind of intimate, so you can really kind of get up and see the bands really up close and personal.
Yeah, it's intimate, and it's also a good restaurant, so you could order food if you get there early. It's down on Pico and Crescent Heights, between Crescent Heights and La Cienega. We actually played there a lot. It was originally kind of a blues or jazz club, and then it opened up to more different types of acts playing there now. And we're playing with some buddies in other bands are playing that night too, so it's a good sort of local music night.
It's very cool.
Yeah,
Road trip.
Yeah, right.
Hey, we've got a couple of people asking some questions in the chat room here. I don't want to exclude anybody if we can get a couple of these in too. Actually Bob Newhart. I somehow don't think it's the Bob Newhart, but who knows?
Maybe.
He's asking if you have a specific when you're learning cover songs, and I remember doing that too, working through covers. Do you have a specific methodology to getting a cover down, or do you try to stay? Maybe I think he's asking, do you stay methodically very close to the original? Do you try to put your own spin on it? Because you see bands out there doing both, and some do it very well, and some do it.
Yeah.
Does everyone else?
Yeah. I think, Steve, you can help me answer this, but I think first thing, we just try to learn the song as is. You try to learn the changes and the lyrics and see if you sound good playing it at all. And then, hopefully, if we're really enjoying playing it and it's feeling good, then organically something will happen. I think that's the best covers that we've played, is if we're playing it, we learn the song, and then just organically the band kind of makes it into a Louden Swain song. and we put our own spin on it just organically, and that's when it works best. If you try too hard, like, hey, let's do this different, then that's usually when it doesn't go well.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we've actually been working on a couple of covers for this show coming up here. We always like to have something new to play for people, but it just depends on what people bring in and what we figure out we want to do, and it always ends up being an exciting thing to pull out a new song for people, and in fact we're on our way to a rehearsal as we speak, so.
Nice.
Yeah, where we're working on a cover for this Friday night.
Yep.
That's right.
Yeah,
Cool.
so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, definitely there are a lot of like covers that one of us will bring in that get discarded just because either it sounds exactly like the original and you're like, why do this, or
Right.
or it just doesn't feel right.
Right.
But there have been a couple we've played that have just been awesome because you kind of forget.
Yeah, in fact, on YouTube, there's we always like to go back to some of the bands that originally influenced us, and on YouTube there's a version of us doing a Led Zeppelin song that I think was one of the more fun covers that we pulled off, and I think I think we gave it our own touch, but still kept it pretty authentic to the original. But yeah, we definitely have fun doing that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually found Santa Maria Everclear. I thought that was pretty good.
Santa Monica, yeah, that was that's
I'm
one
sorry,
of our
Santa Maria. That's a whole other website I shouldn't be looking at.
Well, there is a Santa Maria. You just went up the coast a little bit.
I'm not supposed to look at those sites till after the show. Go ahead.
Your Lord.
If you could just hold on just for a couple minutes.
Okay.
Santa Monica. Yeah, that's been the YouTube thing has been fun because if Borja's feeling randy, we can just turn the camera on Borja, and it's comical.
Oh yeah, and I have 2 song requests for you guys, if you don't mind, because having wet knees and I'm Mrs. Vance tonight, I think I should ask.
Okay.
I would like either a little Alien Ant Farm because I need you to say, Annie, are you okay? Or
Okay.
if you really want to cross the line, you could sing a little Poke Salad Annie.
I like the Alien Ant Farm, Annie, are you
Yeah.
okay, doing the cover of a cover?
Yes.
Yes.
I like that. And then you could say, to that freaky girl that interviewed me in Chicago, the ShamWow girl, this one's for you,
Okay.
Mrs. Vance.
All right, if we make Chicago, we will do that.
I will be calling Mayor Daley tomorrow and putting my foot down.
That's right.
I hope to get a key to the city, and what else? Do they still color the river green?
Green.
Yes.
Yes.
On St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
Although we do our St. Patrick's drunk show.
Oh, yeah?
We do a second year in a row we've done that. And actually we do it for a reason. We don't, it's not just getting plastered on the air, although you'd be surprised.
Right.
Or maybe not. No, we do it for a reason. We do the whole breathalyzer thing here in the studio. We've got people that come in, and we usually have a medical personnel standing by.
Wow.
It's to promote being safe, and it's amazing. But yeah, we usually don't remember because we do that show right around that time.
And go
it's hard
through
for
a
us
big
to
bottle
remember.
of Patron.
Yeah, it's hard
Steve
to
knows what I'm
remember
talking
them
about.
culling the river. But,
Wow.
but they still do it.
Yeah, from what you're told.
Yes, from what we're told, allegedly. Now, you guys, we talked about the show you guys have coming up. Do you have anything else on the horizon that we can let people know?
Well, the next sort of exciting thing we're doing, we're going to be shooting a video for a song called "Something to Say," which is actually a bonus track on the most recent album. We had fans send in pictures of themselves holding signs with something to say, with anything that they had on their mind, and then we had some great submissions, and a lot of those are going to be in the video. So we've been putting that together. We're kind of in pre-production for that right now, and we're also we're putting the finishing touches on the studio here that's going to allow us to do a lot more broadcasting live in studio shows because we really want to reach out. Like Steve mentioned, we have people who email us from all over the world, and it's just not feasible right now for us to get out
Sure.
and play everywhere. So
Right.
we want to get out. We want to reach out and show people our show. So that'll be the next sort of phase 2. Will be launching this sort of internet, these live internet shows.
Now, see, that's very cool. You're creating a studio to do live broadcasts.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's very cool, and I can relate to that.
Yeah.
That's what we've done. Obviously, here we took one room in our home, and it's now the ABL Studios.
Yeah.
Constructed the whole thing, but it's amazing how the things like the internet, and you look at YouTube and iTunes and things like our network here, Blog Talk Radio and Ustream and all those different outlets. It's really allowing bands to reach a much broader fan base than we've ever seen in history.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing, and the equipment is out there that the capability is there. So we figured, with all of our work schedules and everything, if that's keeping us here, we might as well, figure out this way to still reach out to the fans so people can see us.
Sure.
So we're getting that together.
That is very cool. Well, when you have that done and you have the studio set up and you're ready to start broadcasting, definitely let us know, and we'll put the word out as well.
Awesome.
We will work the street team like no other street team has worked before.
And the Vans Fixins.
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, guys, I mean, it's so fun to come on and talk to you, and I always love getting the call-ins. That's always such a sort of fun Russian roulette, like you don't know what you're going to get.
It really is.
But we're ducking into the studio pretty soon to do this rehearsal, but I was there anything else or anything we didn't cover that you guys wanted to cover?
No, you guys have been more than wonderful, and I'm glad not only do we get to watch you in Supernatural, but now we've been introduced because I wasn't familiar with Louden Swain, and getting to talk to Steve, and just hearing you guys. You guys are absolutely wonderful, and you have a lot more fans, and I thank you so much for that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much.
Absolutely.
All right, guys.
Go ahead.
I was going to say we want to definitely thank you guys for coming on, and I will tell you, what we've told several people in the past, and some of them actually take us up on it. You're more than welcome anytime here, on the show. So keep us. We'll stay in touch, and we'll get you back on and do something. Maybe we'll do something musical when you're next time you're on.
Yeah, if we can get when we get this thing up and rolling, that might be a reality to make that happen. That we can play for you.
That cool. sounds great, guys. And cool. We will talk to you soon. Have a great rehearsal there. Looking forward to more stuff. Okay.
Very cool. Thanks so much. Much love to you guys, Rob.
All right.
Take care.
Okay. Bye. Bye.
And with that, what we're going to do, folks, is we're going to take a